Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Townsville Stormwatch and Surrounding Districts Cyclone Update. Tonight, the 10th of April 2014, my name is Nathan, and tonight we're going to be giving you an update on severe tropical cyclone Ita. Well, the big news is that as of 4 p.m. today, this cyclone has upgraded tropical cyclone Ita to a Category 5 system. It is now sitting just east of the Lockhart River off the coast, expected to continue in a southwesterly track towards the coast as a Category 5 system, and then at about 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon is expected to impact the coast as a Category 5 system just north of Cape Flattery. From there, it will continue in that southwesterly track, de-intensifying quite rapidly to be a Category 3 system by 4 a.m. Saturday morning. And then it will then adopt more of a southerly track, then into a southeasterly track, and de-intensify even further into a Category 1 system by 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon around the Tilligo area. And then it will continue that southeasterly track and be a low pressure system just southwest of Cardwell by 4 a.m. Sunday morning. If we have a look now at the rainfall figures over the next 4 days, and we can see that on Friday that there will be just the tip there of Cape Melville will be expecting some intense rainfall. But pretty much anywhere then from Cowan down through to around Ingham can be expecting between 50 to 100 millimeters of rain over that period. And then anywhere kind of just north of Townsville, so we're probably talking about Rolling Stone, right up the northern Cape of Carpentaria. We can see that we're expecting 25 plus mils of rain on Friday. Into Saturday, and we can see that a lot of the rain activity has moved southward, and around the Tully area could be expecting around 150 mils or plus of rain, and anywhere between just south of Cooktown down to just north of Townsville is expecting about 100 plus mils of rain. And then from Townsville up into, again, just south of Cooktown or in the Cooktown area is expecting 50 plus mils of rain on Saturday. Move on to Sunday, and the whole rain event just moves to, southward, and we can see that from about Rolling Stone right down the coast to around about Rockhampton, possibly Gladstone, is expecting between 50 plus mils of rain. The Mackay region is expecting about 100 plus mils of rain, but the more intense rainfall has started to move offshore by Sunday. If we then have a look on Monday, and we can see that a lot of the shower activity has moved off the coast of Queensland as tropical cyclone Ita makes more of a southeasterly direction at that time. We must stress, though, that this really does depend on the track that Ita does take. Some models are saying that Ita will just hug the coast here, which will mean that there will be a whole lot more rain for the coastal areas of Queensland during this cyclone event, while other models are saying that Ita will go inland, de-intensify, and then re-emerge off the coast. So we're really up in the air at the moment as to exactly how much rainfall is going to be created by this system, and we really won't know official figures until we find out what the exact path of Ita is going to be. But if we have a look now, in the next 4 days, so now we're talking about the 14th of April through to the 17th of April, and we can see that a lot of that shower activity has pretty much left the coast. There is still some heavier falls up here in the northern part of the Cape of Carpentaria, but the rest of the coast is fairly just very isolated, scattery type showers. We have a look now what Ida looks like on the satellite picture, and this is thanks to the Bureau of Meteorology. And we can see that Ida is just swirling around here, just under Port Moresby, or directly south under Port Moresby, but she is definitely heading towards the Queensland coast at this point in time. Lots of convective activity happening with it. We can just see in these last few frames that Ida has started to develop a clearly identified eye, and I can show you that eye is, if I just get the right color here with my pen, that the eye is right there where that arrow is. So it's definitely it's a well-defined eye at this stage, and which means that the cyclone is really well developed, and that eye does become even more identifiable right in those last stages of this satellite imagery. If we have a look at now, a very quick look at the sea surface temperatures that are around severe tropical cyclone Ida, we can see that the cyclone is sitting in that area there in very nice conditions, very warm sea surface temperatures indeed, with these oranges, reds, light reds colouring. So this system still has absolutely no problem with sea surface temperature. If we have a look now at the Bureau of Meteorology's axis map that they use to predict where these types of systems are going to go, at 1 o'clock this afternoon we can see that Ida was just sitting off the coast quite high in this model. I'm not quite sure why it is so high here, but anyway, let's see where the Bureau say that this system may go. If we look now through to Friday morning at 10 o'clock, and what we can see is that the system, it makes pretty much a southerly kind of track down towards this this area here of Cape. I cannot quite remember the name of the cape there, but anyway, it's definitely heading towards the coast here. Now, if we look Saturday at about 10 o'clock, and we can see that the system has made landfall. It's continued this south to southwesterly track inland. Probably by this stage, not expected to be a cyclone, but a fairly a very severe tropical low system. And if we have a look now through till Sunday at 10 o'clock, and we can see that it just becomes very broad at this stage, a very broad low pressure system. Some of it over here in the Gulf of Carpentaria, while most of it is still over land here in that Gulf type districts, even the Gulf to the Cape of the peninsula regions. I will get the areas right soon. So that's what the Bureau are expecting that this system might. We'll quickly now have a look at what the humidity levels are like in the atmosphere for this system. And again, we've got tropical cyclone Ita sitting in this area in here, and a lot of moisture is still associated with this system coming in here from the monsoon trough and just swirling in the system. but all the way around it to its western, down to its southern and eastern side is all this dry air here, which cyclones absolutely hate. Um, but we'll see what happens with this system as we progress through now till Friday morning. And what we can see happening here at about 3 o'clock Friday morning is that this system is not allowing this dry air to impact it whatsoever. It's keeping a hold of this very moist trough monsoon air in here, and it's just keeping a hold of that tongue of moisture air which is circulating through into the system. If we now look through till Saturday morning at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we can see that the system continues to have this moist air just coming into it. The dry air looks like it's starting to penetrate into the system, but at this stage there is still a lot of moisture associated with the system. Then if we look Sunday at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we can see that dry air continues to slowly wrap itself around the system, but the system still has all this moisture just coming in, just feeding it all this good moisture. But the dry air is starting to make its mark on the system at this time. We now go through till Monday at 3 o'clock, and we can see that by this time, um, by this time the moisture it's not really a recognizable circulation any longer. It's sort of washed out a lot with dry air here to it now to its northwest down through to its south. Um, but there is this pocket of moisture here associated with the system, but there is also a lot of dry air in the area as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the models and where they predict that Ida is going to go over the next few days. Here we are at 9 p.m. Thursday evening, and Ida is just off the coast here in that region there, just off the Lakefield National Park. And if we go in closer, we can see that it's just north of Cooktown and in the Cape Melville um, area at 9 p.m. tonight. Now, if we go through to Friday at 9 a.m., and we can see that the system has made landfall according to the European ensemble, and it's made landfall between the Cape Melville area and Cooktown. And so we can see that those winds there are really horrific. We've got these dark red shadings, which is indicating that we could be looking at 45 knot winds, if not even more. Then if we look through till 9 a.m. on Saturday morning, and the European ensemble is saying that by that time, tropical cyclone Ida has lost a lot of its oomph and is trekking down the coast, although it be inland of the coast, and should be sitting just here west of Cairns by 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Now, if we go through to Sunday 9 a.m., we can see the system continues to track, and then it starts adopting this southeasterly direction and comes off the coast here in between Ingham and Townsville, and the winds associated with the system start to pick up once again. If we go along a little bit further, we're now into Monday morning, and we can see that the system continues to go down off the coast, and as it's going, it's not really tightening up at all. It's just a very loose looking low pressure system as it continues to track down the coast. If we have now a look at what the moisture might be like for this system, here we are at 9 p.m. tonight. A lot of the moisture here is to its northern edge and even to its western edge as well. Um, there is a bit of precipitation coming here on the Cape Melville area, even down further to the south of the Cape Melville area. If we now go on into Friday morning at 9 a.m., and we can see that by this time the system is either hit the coast, it's fairly close to hitting the coast, and that moisture that is associated with it has also hit the coast, so quite large amounts of rainfall here from the Cape Melville to the Cooktown sort of region, but also spreading down the coast to the south, down to the Innisfail or Tully area by this stage. Then if we go through till Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, so Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and we can see that the moisture is following the system on its southerly to southeasterly track, and a lot of the moisture is now concentrated in this Cairns to Ingham area, probably more confined though to the Tully to Cairns area. Then if we continue through till 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and what we can see is that Sunday at 9 o'clock, a lot of the moisture has now pushed offshore, and is now no longer really affecting the coastline, except for those more exposed areas like Bowen. May be still experiencing some fairly moderate rainfall still by this time. If we have now a look at what the GFS model run is saying for this system, at 9 o'clock this evening, we can see that it's sitting here very close to the Cape Melville area. A little bit more southerly than I do believe that the European ensemble had it, but there it is. It's still out there off the coast of Cape Melville. We now go through to Friday morning, and this is 9 o'clock Friday morning, and we can see that the system has hit the coast somewhere here in between the Cape Melville and Cooktown area, just as the Europeans was predicting that it would go. So this is 9 o'clock on Friday. It's made landfall as a Category 5 system. If we now go through to Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and we can see that the system is now following the coast, but a little bit more inland than what it was showing yesterday evening. It still has some quite gusty winds here off the coast around the Cairns area where it is here at Saturday at 9 o'clock. Then if we go on through to Sunday, we can see the system continues to just hug the coast ever so tightly, and it's just enough inland though to not really develop any further as it heads down the coast. Still has these winds trying to wrap around it, but not able to really because of its proximity to land. It basically follows the coast very, very closely until it gets here between Bowen and Mackay, where we see that it kicks off the coast once again and starts adopting this southeast to easterly track. And then if we go through till Monday at 9 o'clock, and what we can see is that the system looks as though it's starting to redevelop once again around the Rockhampton, Gladstone area, but well offshore. So it could even be considered sometime soon after as an extra tropical cyclone at this time. But nonetheless, it looks as if it wants to redevelop as it kicks off the coast here around the Rockhampton and Gladstone area. So what is the GFS saying about the rainfall for this system? And well, it's saying at 9 o'clock tonight we could be seeing some quite decent falls here at the Cape Melville area, although nothing like what it could be expecting a bit later on in the evening. And also around this Cairns area could be starting to see some heavy falls as well. If we now progress through till Friday morning at about 9 o'clock, and what we can expect to see then is that a lot of the rain activity associated with the system has now made landfall around this Cooktown and Cape Melville area, and is really impacting the coast. There is some shower activity happening off the coast of Bowen or around the area. Then if we go through till Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and what we can see is that rain activity just follows the system down the coast as it progresses its way down the coast. And by 9 o'clock Saturday morning, a lot of the activity should be probably from Rolling Stone northward up until about um, Innisfail, maybe Tully sort of area, and also a little bit of activity happening here in the air district and offshore. Then if we go through to Sunday morning, you can see that the system just continues to dump quite a lot of rain onto the coast as it continues to head, um, fairly adjacent to the coastline or even inland of the coastline. But then as it redevelops out here around the Rockhampton and Gladstone area, the activity begins to pick up once again, but most of it being offshore. Having a look now at the MT-SAT infrared colorized image loop, and we can see that at the moment this is where Tropical Cyclone Ita is at the moment, and we can see that there's that really dark red coloring, which means that this system is quite an intense system. We now have a look at the winds that are associated with this system, and what we can see is that the winds are getting quite strong here along the coast in this, just south of Cape Melville, around the Cooktown sort of area, as they wrap around this system quite tightly. So what we should see is that as this system continues to move down in this southwesterly type direction, that these winds will start to impact the coast even more and more as it continues. I just wanted to now show you one more forecast track map, and that is the one that's been put out by the Joint Typhoon Warning System. And they have changed their track ever so slightly from what they had yesterday evening. Yesterday evening, they had the system just stopping before it hits the coast and then heading down the coast as it recurves towards the east again. Tonight, as you can see, they've got this system making landfall here, probably further towards the Cooktown area than the Cape Melville area. It hits the coast, heads down towards the Cairns area, and then exits the coast again just south there of Cairns, possibly redeveloping into a cyclone as it gets back out off the east coast. So, folks, that's about all we have time for tonight. So, we'd like to thank you for watching. Our next cyclone video update will be tomorrow evening. So, thanks for watching. And if you'd like to support our work that we do for you, please take the time to show your appreciation by donating to us through our PayPal link or clicking on our PayPal tab under our cover photo on our Facebook page. So, thanks again for watching. If you are in that Cape Melville area and that Cooktown area, please stay safe up there and take any warnings or instructions that are given to you by the emergency services. Take them seriously and act upon them, and just please do take it safe and make sure that if you're not ready by now, it's getting quite late to be starting to enact any plans. So hopefully you'll have already got them already happening. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night.